Welcome to the first video report of Enter the Crucible. This is our first matchup. This is going to be Borka 2 versus Kreoss 2. I am Matthew Bunting, aka Mayhew on various forums. I'm joined by
John Carter and Adam, Pirate Captain.
This is going to be Borka 2 versus Kreoss 2 as detailed in our first episode, and I'll have a link to the first episode in the comments. This is going to be Clint Rungy playing Borka 2 versus Jeff Jar playing Kreoss 2.
Looks like we already had Clint's advanced move from the tier.
And I believe that this is Jeff doing his advanced move as well.
Two tier lists that are going to get in there and beat each other's faces off.
So this is going to, let's go into the scenario a little bit. The scenario is, I don't remember off the top of my head.
This is the incredibly relevant light artillery scenario, isn't it?
Yeah. super relevant light artillery scenario. But we have two flags, as indicated by the two flag markers. We also have two objectives. In this scenario, the flags are Control 1 and Dominate for 2. The objectives are Defense 5, Armor 18 with 15 damage boxes. With this one, if it is not contested, light artillery within 4 inches of it gains boosted damage rolls.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's super relevant.
I think that's my new plan, is to just build the all light artillery list.
Yeah, just abuse this just for this
just,
one
just
scenario.
wait for it.
Yeah. You'll be so disappointed with that one time.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Just storm towers and
There
chain
you go.
guns.
All right.
One of our local players wanted to do the Urusk 2 tier that has 4 Kador mortars and just troll for this scenario.
It looks like Clint's going first and is just aggressively moving up his line of champions.
The interesting thing about this scenario, though, is that each objective is friendly to the player who is closest to it. So it is right now actually contesting those flags. So you have to kill one of those objectives to actually control or contest.
Is
the
it
flag.
considered a faction model or just friendly?
It's considered a faction model.
So it will be getting the Creelstone armor buff
Yes.
on. All right, interesting.
Ooh, I didn't even know that.
It's one of the passive buffs of trolls is that their objectives can randomly have +2 armor.
The interesting thing, does Clint know that?
Maybe.
Let's
That's
find out.
That's a solid maybe.
Also to note, this scenario, you can actually score 4 objective points in one round, which is not very common, by dominating a flag, controlling the other flag, and killing an objective.
So you guys actually have a lot more experience in competitive play than me, and one of the things I wanted to kind of ask here is what are they both looking for? You guys can kind of look at this and see their side of the table. Like, what's Clint really got to make happen in order to? I know he's been really nervous about Sacrosanct.
His army, I think, if it just goes in a straight-up fight against Kreoss 2, it's probably going to come out on the losing side of that. He's got fewer targets, fewer models than Jeff, and all Jeff's models are weapon masters. So he's kind of putting his eggs in one basket, so to speak, and then Jeff has the damage ability to crack it, potentially, if his dice are with him on the damage rolls. And he is the patron saint of damage rolls, so that's likely.
We can rely on that.
So I'm assuming he's going to be looking to play for scenario or assassination.
Yeah, I agree. I believe that his best bet is scenario. I also think he lucked out by being able to go first because he's not going to be as jammed by those daughters.
That's true. He can get a better scenario presence right off the bat.
Yeah.
Interesting. It looks like Borka's...
That's
kind of
Scaldi, I believe.
Oh, that's Scaldi. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's in the far left unit of champions.
His countercharge ability will actually be fairly relevant if Jeff goes for that early jam, which it looks like he set up his daughters to do.
He's got that line of boom howlers out in front. I'm assuming they did their 4+ tough move. They're going to have feign death and concealment to stop all of Jeff's guns, of which there are none. Does he have a single gun in that list?
The errants.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
correct.
just-
Oh, okay, so it is very relevant.
Yeah.
A full unit of errands.
That's right, right on the AD line.
It also, to Clint's credit, he is putting the boom howlers spanning both flags. So it looks like he could redirect them one way or the other as the game progresses.
Yep, those daughters are... Ooh. I fear fear for the boomhowers, the daughters hanging around.
Oh, it's a genuine concern that the Daughters is going to run right in with their acrobatics and tie everything up, and Clint won't have anywhere to go.
So it looks like Borka advanced, and he's probably gonna be looking to put Iron Flesh on the boomhouse. Yep, there it is. Notice Iron Flesh and Boomhauer standing on the hill, so that's a total of +5 defense.
Yeah, that's the man himself, it seems, on the hill, so relatively safe.
The Aaron's blessed crossbows ignore the Iron Flesh, but they do not ignore that hill.
That's true, and he's also probably going to be sitting at a whopping armor 18. I guess. Well, they would ignore the.
No, you never ignore Creel Stone because it's not a spell effect.
It's not a spell effect. All right,
Yeah.
well there you go. Something Minoth doesn't ignore.
Yeah.
Few and far between.
The only way to actually ignore that is, from what I know of the game, is to somehow knock the Fury off of it.
Okay. Enter Gorshade 3.
Enter Gorshade 3. Or Eris 3. Or Hexerus 2, where he can just pop his feet and just steal all the Fury off the Creel Stone. It's like, this is mine now. I'm going to cast Ashes to Ashes again. One of my favorite things to do. With Hexy 2, anyway.
Did not make it to the hill there. That might be a big deal if the Errands have the range to shoot.
Well, it might be a benefit because if he was on the hill, the Errands could see him easier.
Oh, that's true. He can't see over the boomhowlers that are on the hill. With the medium bases, you can block lots of line of sight quite easily.
It also seems like he's pushing a lot to the left, to the side with his objective piece.
So if he's pushing for a strong scenario play, he's not scoring first because he's going first. Jeff may try and jam that area to counter the flag being scored on. And he certainly has enough stuff far up the board to do that.
Just a quick note to everyone, we are playing with timed turns. The idea behind that is that the turns will be relatively quick and engaging. And most of the times when we have people on this podcast, they're going to feel very comfortable with this list, so they're not going to need a lot of thinking time, or at least they'll have an idea of what they're supposed to do.
You would hope so.
You would hope so, but
that might be giving us too much credit.
Yeah, I will certainly not be playing anytime soon.
But the upside is that we will also have a dice down if it comes to that. Which in this situation, it might actually come to that.
Might come down to the tiebreakers. The scenario. I think it's gonna be hard for someone to pull out five EPs with so much stuff on the board.
Yeah.
So 5 scenario points. So maybe it'll come down to who's grabbed the most.
Well, in choosing the scenario, it want to be something that actually like pushes the engagement to the center where both lists really want to be. But at least in this particular scenario, there is the potential of the scenario win a little quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So it might actually, with forcing the engagement, it might actually allow the game to come to a more quicker end than just to grind out until the time runs out.
Solid attack on grammar yet again, more quicker. If I can read this right, my eyes are pretty terrible. It looks like that's Sacrosanct on the Knight Exemplar unit.
Yeah, and they're probably just going to be running right up in the middle of it. Oh, we got Daughters jamming.
One of Jeff's new favorite things to do with this list is like, here's a unit of Daughters that you have to deal with.
I don't think that's necessarily new. They've been doing that a long time.
Well, new for him in this particular tier list.
It looks like they're jamming up the right side of the Boomhowlers and also that unit of champions on the far flank.
Here comes the Sacrosanct Knights.
It's going to be really interesting to see how Clint attempts to clear off this jam, because this could put Jeff into a really strong scenario presence if he can push that line of engagement at where it is right now and keep it there.
It looks like Inviolable Resolve on Kreoss himself, right behind the wall.
Get that +2 armor and +4 defense. What's the defensive daughters? Are they 15s?
Uh,
1 second.
Because that is
They are 15-12s.
with no you've got the Pirate Troll AoE and potentially Electro Leaps, but I don't see any great way of clearing out those Defense 15 models aside from just trying to roll some hard dice with
If-
Mat 7 champions.
if you can get a good shot on the Storm Troll on one of the unengaged ones, maybe you could clear out a couple of them.
Also, it's possible to shoot your own guy or place the Animus on them and then perform the shot so that they're immune to electricity.
It's true. Oh, yeah, that's very clever.
Yeah, let's see if he does it.
It's only a 1-cost Animus, so it's fairly easy for the Storm Troll to do that all on his own if he can get close enough.
Or, Borka could throw it out there and the Storm Troll could use those focus to boost a hit because the model's engaged with the jam,
Yeah, Troll's much easier to hit.
That's true. Defense 16, 14 in the rear. If you have to shoot yourself in the back, engaged.
Yeah, it's a Rat 4, so 10s on 3 dice is not terrible.
I haven't heard any laughing yet from the back room, so I guess we're both doing good.
So they're wondering if we're mocking their performance. That's yet to come. We haven't got to that part of the game yet.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Honestly,
I
like
just
good
prefer
mocking.
to mock them as individuals.
That's true.
Yeah.
Based on their own merits.
Yeah. That's a pretty good beard shot, though, as
Yeah,
you mentioned before.
yep. The Bastions are towing up behind the line, keeping pace with Kreos.
Oh, those Bastions. Like we mentioned in the podcast, those Bastions are so frustrating to deal with after you deal with that front line.
A lot of times you'll see Jeff throw Kreos behind the Bastions, which is good and bad because it kind of stalls his advance a little bit, but it keeps him protected from shooting and any sort of long range threat attacks. But it looks like he's not too worried about anything coming down the pipe from Borka's army. It's a pretty straightforward melee army with some little bit of range support behind it. But so seems like Creos is just kind of out in the middle between the Bastions. It's behind the wall for a nice defense 18 instead of behind them.
I feel in this situation it's not necessarily too much of a detriment. Namely because I don't really see a lot of threats to Borka or to Creos right now.
Yeah,
from
probably
Borka.
potentially what a Storm Troll shooting at him and boosting some damage. He's got a lot of armor camped on him.
Yeah.
He's got 3 focus and his spell for +2.
There's so much better things you can do with that Storm Troll right
Absolutely.
Sportsmanship, people. It's important. You don't want to be known as that guy.
That guy.
Clint's
I think we're about to see the first shots fired of the game here.
Errant advancing up.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see on the video, but there's a forest there at the bottom of the screen. They're kind of towing in.
Those Errants with their Pathfinder.
Does
and
he
their
have
guns
the-
and melee ability?
now. Aaron Seneschal on this list?
No, it's the Exemplar Seneschal.
Ah, so without the Aaron Seneschal, concealment would actually be still super relevant in this game.
Yeah, with the tier bonus.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, go ahead, start.
You dirty work.
Oh, looks like you just ran them, actually.
Just kidding, guys.
Well, most of the army is going to be, armor 18 or 20. So the
True.
power 10 crossbows aren't going to be doing too much.
And defense 14, because they can't ignore the concealment,
Yeah.
as Mayhew
I
mentioned.
mean, they're still Rat 6, but, you're looking at hard 8s and the 9s afterwards against the Boom Howlers or even worse against the Champions. That's a little rough.
It seems like he's just really wanting to push that line forward, which is probably the best play.
Clint's going to have an explosive turn here to clear this jam and have enough left to continue the battle, not lose the attrition.
Because Jeps is already threatening the objective with Fire Salvation.
Absolutely. And you got to think, those daughters that are tied up, they can just walk over the models in front of them, charge stuff in the rear with acrobatics.
Yeah. Could be always threatening the Creel Stone.
Absolutely.
And I noticed he mentioned before that he's got a minimum unit of the Creel Stone, so the aura is already shorter than normal. So a few deaths, and that really starts to take that out of play.
Yeah.
This 6 here.
4, 5, 6. So this is starting new.
Correct.
So like Clint is checking who has Sacrosanct.
They're marked on my side, not on
Yeah, well, I know from playing against Creos 2, you have to start asking the question, where does one unit end and the next one begin?
Yes.
He has so many duplicates.
Yeah.
Do you know when Boomhowler has to pop his prayer? Does it have to be the beginning of the turn?
I believe it's during his activation.
So can his models in his unit advance, attack, get knocked down by Sacred Saint, and then pop back up with his prayer?
I believe so, but it's a situation of getting knocked down during your turn, so you still have to sacrifice.
But what if you're already attacked?
It might be start of activation.
Well, let's look that up.
Yeah, let's look at it.
I'm gonna go with
While you're looking that up, it looks like he's going to throw in some champions, the champion hero first. Might have a decent charge on a couple of those errands.
That is correct. Fell call is anytime during the unit's activation. So call to action is knockdown models in this unit formation immediately stand up. You could perform your actions and then cap it off with the Reveille.
So it probably wasn't the best idea to throw the Sacred Saint unit right across from the Boom Howlers, but I don't know if Clint knows the order of activations of that interaction.
This is good to, like, at least for us to see these interactions as they're happening.
Yeah, we can make fun of him for it later if he doesn't see it.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the joy of doing this.
Clint, you're so stupid.
Not racist, slightly Asian. Not racist, slightly Asian.
You have to have the disclaimer out. It's okay. Don't worry about it. There's Jeff's dog.
Yeah.
Sorry, we'll go on his charge.
Jeff does occasionally like to bring his dog over here. I believe that his dog is a critical portion of his.
That was a wonderful roll off camera. So, assumingly something happened somewhere, and Errant is now dead.
Yeah. I think the champion hero is threshering right now and killing what he wants.
Yep, there we go.
So the Thresher gets around the ability for the Errants to sack themselves.
It's simultaneous, so you can still sack, but you couldn't sacrifice.
Sure, you're gonna lose two models if you have two models in the Thresher getting hit.
Correct.
Okay.
So they're gonna give the run charge order. He will charge that guy.
And they get the same rule as he does.
Correct. While in his
And that's a really nice ability of the champion hero to let them move through each other, which really helps.
charge this guy.
Can't go through the objective.
Looks like he forgot he couldn't move through an objective. That has lost me a game here and there.
Yes, that subtle difference between flags and physical
Is that-
objectives.
Ooh, I can't go through that. Looks like the champions are just trying to get in the middle of the errant unit. Try and cause as many casualties as possible. I wonder if the Bastions will have a countercharge on them as well as the errants.
So one attack here. Mat 7
Hits.
hits.
Power.
Power 11.
Okay, that's -5.
First attack here. 7 hits, and that's just a regular dude, right?
Looks like he's slaying some errants with abandon.
I can't remember if you have to have Scaldy to have overtake.
46 more to go.
46 more to go. Okay.
But that is a good opening move of getting a fair amount of the errands off the table.
Just as round 1 or round 2. Oh, thanks.
Let's make sure they're rolling on camera so we know what's happening here. So we got that. That's scolding.
Your wise words, Fire Captain.
Thank you, Fire Captain.
These champions will activate.
Was pretty harsh. Hope it didn't make him cry.
Yeah, I know.
I felt
He's a
it.
big boy. He can take it.
I felt the tears coming.
Is Scaldy's an attachment to a troll unit?
Yes, he
Yes.
is.
So, Mat 7 here, first attack.
So he grants overtake to model champions in his unit,
15.
as well as relentless charge.
Miss. First attack here from the leader. Miss.
Looks like he's trying to throw some attacks on those daughters, killing what he can. He has to hit hard, but hit high.
And this one here.
But there's no reason not to.
And Scaldy himself is Mat 8, so that becomes a little more reasonable.
For Matt?
Mat 7.
No, there's 50. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Dead.
Looking for hard 8s on those daughters.
Yeah, he
Only-
got a couple, which is good on him.
Only for 5s on the exemplars.
Gee, I wish he was dead.
Don't we all?
It's one of the strengths of this Kreoss list is his ability to take casualties.
Attack against her.
And not care.
Magic.
Yeah.
7 hits.
And there's Clint not being able to... Hey, there we go. Thanks, buddy.
I will advance the Storm Troll.
Uh-oh, let's see what this activation does. I think it's going to be one of the more important ones of the turn.
I will advance.
This is Mayhew's love child, the Storm Troll,
Yeah.
activating.
The
I would-
unengaged daughter,
I want a storm troll in every army I play.
Boost to hit.
including your...
Looking
your
for an
Cyrus
11
ones.
here.
Yeah.
So you're 15, so I need a 10.
Are they rat 4? They're rat 5.
That hits regardless.
It
Each roll
still
13.
hits, although Clint now is a dirty cheater. The
So zap right there.
Storm Troll is a rat 4.
Takes a power.
Ooh,
Her. Okay, and then
that's pretty low. Are the rest of the lights that low?
Yes, with the exception of the Slag Troll, which is rat 5.
Clint is showing off one of my favorite aspects of the storm troll, and that is the ability to boost the electro leap
that was
damage.
not the sacrifice guys, right?
It's
That
very
is
rare that you
so
can
not
actually
right.
do that. Yeah.
All right.
It's Lightning Accumulator. It's one of the subtle differences besides the D3 between that and Electroleap. You cannot boost Electroleaps, but you can boost on Lightning Accumulator.
So when it hits your Gorman or Warwick Siren or important key solo, standing in the back, thought he was nice and safe. Blah, death.
And it also has this awesome situational rule where if a warjack touches it, that warjack immediately becomes disrupted.
Yummy.
Oh, the Storm Troll has that rule. So
Yeah.
the Warjack punches it, it becomes immediately disrupted.
Yeah.
So it loses the ability to continue to spin focus on it.
That's correct.
Ooh, that's a gotcha rule if there ever was one.
Yeah. And you can see my unmitigated love for the storm troll because of all the things it can do.
Maybe you need to pick up trolls and just put 5 of them on the table.
I would do that with a Grim.
That sounds like you're entering my territory now of some mad scientist concoction.
Yes, of light models, light war beasts or warjacks.
Looks like the boom howlers are activating, and see what he's going to do with boom howler.
There.
Let's see if he sees the stand up after the sacrosanct knockdown move.
Right there. Yeah, got room to go in front of him.
Looks like they still have Iron Flesh on them, so they were -1 speed during that movement. Not that they needed to go anywhere far.
Looks like he's lining up pairs for combined melees.
Two guys on her.
Hit that high defense 15.
Hits.
7 and 7 is 14.
Sorry. 15. I'm 8. Sorry, I need 7 to hit.
Yeah, start at mat 6, so you're at 8, so
So
5, 6, 7.
These two guys will combine on her.
Rolling those 7s, it's always a scary number.
Yeah.
Flat. These two will combine on him. For an 8. That'll hit. About 12, 13.
Seems like even though Clint's been bullied out of position, he's having a fairly decent turn of removing models.
So you got
Yeah, let's see how he fights back from that Kreos beat turn, which I feel like is coming up next.
Now, Jeff made a slight error here. When you're doing a combined melee attack, only one model is technically attacking.
That's true, they would not both be knocked down.
That's correct.
technology.
And now we can watch them.
Okay, cool.
Looks like Clint called his extension. Is that what happened there?
No, they restarted the turn.
Oh, they forgot to click their clocks. All right, good job, guys.
It's a pretty professional run operation around
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
just how we do it.
There.
That's a wonderful conversation everybody just got to miss on how to handle a mic here at our podcast. If there's some odd clapping or clicking, blame
Mayhew.
Mayhew.
Yeah. Mayhew, who will be editing this audio, but probably leave this in out of pure laziness.
Don't touch the mic. That's a good rule to follow.
Hey, that's a dice roll I've seen a lot in my life. 6 on 3 dice.
Distance 2.
Direction and distance. You do have
It's like a Pyre Troll shot.
2 inches to the 2.
Yep.
Well, how far are you from
Looks like he'll still get a good shot there.
right there?
Ironically, setting daughters on fire.
Which can't happen in this particular list.
this gentleman
It's one of the
I
tier
thought it was
benefits.
only the exemplar, the exemplars.
Oh, it is. It might be only the
I
exemplar.
don't think
Maybe
he even
wrong.
hit the daughter though. It might have just been the two exemplars.
Now I'm depressed.
Dice minus 11 on this guy.
For a hard dice minus 11, I guess their armor's
armor
been bumped up from the casualties in the unit.
He's a 17.
Okay.
Armor 15 on him.
Got one. Impressive.
He is not. Oh, that
No,
was
he's
Marty.
not.
Cool.
Yay, Kreos. Now, is that a tier benefit, or is that just something Kreos brings to the table?
That's just something Creos brings to the table.
Okay.
This is elite cadre. Which annoyingly you don't see very often. A lot of times it's a specific unit and not a universal one, and his is universally exemplars.
Exemplars.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear there's a few of those in Minoth.
To be fair, you only ever see him in this tier list, and the tier list is bringing a bunch of them anyway. So
I would disagree. I think we only see him this tier list. I think Kreos plays outside of the tier a little bit, but
I'd be
Just
interested in things
preferred.
you could do.
the preferred play style is probably the tier, just because it's so brutally fast because all the advanced moves and AD and
Well, unlike most tiers, you realize like what are you missing when you're stepping out of tier? Reckoners and choir and
Choir,
stuff,
yeah.
and
vassals. But I mean,
at that point you might as well play playing a different caster.
sure.
So it looks like Clint is doing his own version of Sacrosanct with Hero's Tragedy on the Boom Howlers. Don't know if he saw the interaction or he just chose not to do it since only 2 models were knocked down. It was probably still worth it to go with 4 up tough.
I would agree, considering he's going to have some punishment coming his way in a second. That 4-up tough might get his keep his screen alive and champion safe.
Two into this dome. 'Cause I can't fit 3. I will cast.
Boomhowler taking the hill.
Borka's taking hill. They just checked kill box.
Excuse me, Borka.
Yeah, he's just inside kill box now, so he's not going to lose his control points. I think he's contemplating whether or not he wants to cast Windwall.
Laser beam.
I like how we almost routinely figure out if there's kill box and check it at the last possible moment in the games we play.
Yep. Oh, am I going to lose this? No, okay, I'm good. No kill box. We're good. I think Clint didn't move Borka up too aggressively. I'm not sure if he's in range to tag the flag the next turn if he gets the opportunity to score points.
Yes.
I think
Did I kill half?
my opinion would be to try and keep Borka within range to at least charge onto the flag and score 2 points to try and get the scenario play going.
Yeah.
You gotta plan that ahead on your turn 1
You probably want to.
or turn 2 if you're going first for sure.
He will from the 5 inches of the model that was there.
Looks like they're checking Righteous Vengeance.
See, folks, teamwork.
Done?
I'm done.
There goes that Jack, who's certainly in range to get to that objective if Jeff so chooses, or go beat up some champions, or Boomhowlers, excuse me.
No reaching
Yeah.
and
Even the champion hero you can probably get to.
Get all that stuff back.
Yeah, and with those 2 knocked down, it's free and clear. Not that I-
Load him up with focus. He's going to be doing something interesting. Might be able to kill the champion hero and the objective on some good rolls.
We're going to start with my mechanic. He's going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wonder if
also
the feat's
useful
coming.
mechanic. It'll be interesting to see where Jeff positions Kreos. I don't think there's much Clint can do to get to him.
And the nice thing about Clint's list is that it does have a decent amount of guns in it. I mean, not a crazy amount, but it actually has some. Well, that wall is doing Jeff all sorts of favors.
If we had the time, I would love to. We're going to just bore people.
yes, yes, we will.
So he is popping his feet and then his activation.
Here we go. The feet's been popped. Checking the range.
Looks like he's going to get just about everything he wants in there. Maybe the far flank will be missing a couple of
Worried about those little
exemplars, but
Get this champion.
no, so.
And I believe and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the minutia of the feat is if the friendly model is in the control area, they get the additional attack, and it's the auto hit on enemy models in the control area.
To this, man. 5 inches.
it's an interesting interaction. So it looks
Yep,
like
that
he's
is correct.
going for that champion unit. The knockdown Boomhowlers would not be able to free strike him. It's been 1 to charge.
POW 18 on that man.
Okay.
Just getting
that
all
was-
3 champions. Ooh, that's going to be brutal.
Does he have hit points?
Yes, his 8.
4.
All right. Auto hit, but low damage roll.
Fist, POW 14, so dice minus 4. Will be 3 more, so he's at 7. He will buy a swing. Straight dice.
Yep, tough roll.
There's the first champion down.
He will buy a swing.
Did take him 3 swings, though.
Straight
It's
dice
true.
as well, correct?
The hero?
Yep, the hero.
He is.
And there's the limitation of the small aura.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. I think he's a straight 16.
Okay, so plus
Oh, there's a tough roll on that champion hero.
dead.
No, not too tough today.
Buy a actually, we'll use, we'll buy a swing here.
Unusual for Jeff, dropping 4s on damage.
So, 6 damage. And the free swing from the feet.
There we go.
There goes the unit.
So Fire Salvation just mopped himself up a bunch of points right there in 1 activation.
This is a flag, so it is something.
With the extra attack, loading him up with 3 focus, Kreos is relatively safe, so he didn't have to care too much.
This man. Run charge order for them.
It looks like Jeff is going primarily for the watch the world burn tactic.
We've seen it before. This is kind of like the Menoth hug, where everything just keeps moving in.
The rest are getting half one. Nope, we'll get 1 more charge.
Playing like a Krix army. I love it. Without all the spell slinging death, but that's alright.
I don't really think he needs Parasite either.
No,
Ever.
he's alright. All those Buffer Masters.
POW 9. Armor.
Yeah, I think Manleth does just fine as in the damage department, generally speaking. And then you have Jeff rolls behind him.
Tough roll.
Oh, the 4 up tough coming into play.
So, free swing from the feet. Dice minus
There it
2.
is.
2 in a row.
Let's see if the Boomhowler's 4 up can keep him in the game.
Dice charge attack.
There it is.
I think that dice is weighted.
Aw, finally falls. He gets a free shot. Oh no?
Charge attack here.
Okay.
4 dice.
Maybe it's not worth shooting.
He's.
He might be. I don't know if he's engaged by anything either.
Still tough
Sorry,
roll.
he's an 18.
Dice minus 9. Still 7 damage.
Okay.
Oh, it's a champion. I'm sorry. 7 damage. The second swing. Minus 9. Tough roll.
Those Boomhowlers can make the tough.
Yeah,
No one in
but
range
not those champions.
can shoot this bear.
Oh, he's taking his shot now.
Do you ignore the hill?
I do not.
Okay, so 14,
Hits on a hits a defense 14.
POW 10 blessed.
15,
Minus 5.
Fails damage.
15 with the aura.
Looks like that hill's actually doing him a lot of favors right now.
We will go with the Sacrosanct Knights here. Run charge order within. This is with the 5.
Let's see how much those boom howlers hold up.
Here will not get to 3-inch distance. Will not have reach. So we will this one charge.
Those medium bases stop him from getting too many models in contact. Or a smaller base unit without reach, like the Boomhowlers don't have, would
His attack here.
allow a lot more to be accessed from
I've lost
that
2
angle.
guys. It's about 13 weapons.
It is a benefit to having those 5 boom howlers kind of absorb all of the feet. His feet's not being as explosive as it could potentially be.
Unfortunately, he's not going to have a lot left if those Boomhowlers fall down the wayside. The level is beast intact,
This
but
guy's swing.
will it be enough?
Tough.
And it'll be curious to see what Jeff can clear out at the top there. See if he can get himself a control point.
It seems like the scenario is not crazy alive in Jeff's mind right now.
No, but he does have the Seneschal up at the top there.
So this unit here.
So that's if
He's knocked down.
everything else can cause the death, that's an easy way to pick up one.
He will charge.
That is correct, but I do think he's going for the kill, kill, kill strategy. It doesn't hurt to put scenario pressure on your opponent whenever you can, especially if you score first and stop them from scoring the following turn. nothing else, to get tiebreakers in the case of a dice down. Always be looking to grab that scenario point when you can. Can't tell you how many times that one point I just grabbed just cause won the tiebreakers in a dice down situation.
That's kind of your claim to fame. I think of all of us, you definitely have the best eyes for the scenario play.
And I do have to hit.
Yes, so I'm a 12.
You're 12.
I think sometimes you just got to come into a matchup understanding the fact that you're not going to win without a scenario or a lucky assassination win victory. So trying to fight it out with the enemy army is not what you want to do.
And that's one of the things I actually appreciate with time turns over death clock. I know time turns is not a great on the player aspect of it, but when you have the potential for a dice down scenario win, it makes the scenario a little bit more live, at least for me.
Second swing on the same model. Dice. It was pot 13. That's minus 3. Still tough. Because he's not base to base, right?
He's just an 18 all.
Okay. So nothing. This guy's charged.
I think we've cursed Jeff's rolls. I'm kind of happy about that
Wait,
personally.
Hopefully that'll continue.
As you say that, he just rolls a 6-6-2-2.
That's all right.
Oh, that's
I will,
not too bad.
I will take
That
him down
balance
half
out.
and half on damage.
Who was that?
That was this guy charging here. He swung here and here. He killed.
They're now engaged in shadow puppets.
Competitive shadow puppets is really hard.
I was just paying attention.
It's that or gang signs. I'm not sure which.
Okay. I will end up using.
That might be the only way Clint will win this game.
If you just didn't hear that, Jeff called his extension.
And looks like the Seneschal moved to take the point.
Fully on Jeff. Seems like the second unit of Daughters is going. They're not going to. I don't think they should be able to do a lot of damage to the champions, but their anatomical precision will most definitely do something.
I think their job probably should have been to get in the boomhowers, is to force 3 tough checks on each model they touch. With their 2 initial attacks with anatomical precision, auto hitting, and the extra from the feet, a 4+ tough's probably not going to stand up to that.
Looks like a fair amount of them are going into the boom howlers. That's the nice thing about them in this list, is that because you have so many models, having the option to move through other models helps you unpack your army a lot easier.
Absolutely. If you notice, Jeff's pretty much bringing to bear everything except the Bastions, which are the second wave attack anyway. So anytime you play a Horde infantry list, you want to think about how you, as maybe put it, unpack your army on the table. You don't want to get completely jammed and gummed up behind your own lines to where your army is not being effective. You know, fighting your opponent with a small percentage of your army while they're fighting full percentage with theirs is not ideal.
I rolled 12s or 5 damage.
Something when you're actually playing, the more models you're adding to your army, the more you have to think about how that army is going to work itself out on the table.
Looks like he is doing small amounts of that champion unit there of damage. Not quite enough to put it down.
Set of bastions.
Power 9 will do that.
I'm going to do defensive strike.
Okay.
Hits. Power bunch.
Like a stray free strike.
I think does the champion hero have defensive strike?
It looks like that's what he did.
Is your speed 5 on that, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Retaliatory strike. And at Mat 8, he's actually a threat there to Daughters.
No.
Bastion's moving up around that objective.
Yeah, Jeff is in a really good position at this point.
And we see the result of Carter's terrorism, causing the Bastions to form a living wall in front of Kreos.
I gator tossed him so many times.
It was a running joke. Jeff, why did you walk slightly outside of your deployment zone?
Flying alligators is fun. Fun for everyone.
I haven't done this yet.
Oh, for their check.
I think the Bastions are one of the more effective screens in the game in the fact that you can kind of pick which one dies.
And I will believe I scored.
So if they're trying to clear a lane, line of sight, or a charge angle, unless they're wiping out the whole unit before the thing they want to use to kill your caster activates, you can just deny it over and over and over.
That innate survivability of them is what makes them really good because
I will not have.
you're not losing them as quickly as you would other medium-based infantry. So their lack of additional attack is actually not that much of a downside if they're sticking around longer than most other medium bases.
Well, it seems to be a running theme with his list. You have a similar ability with the errants, and him just immediately jamming and putting everything up there. It's very hard for them to clear a path through it.
And I know a lot of Menoth players are still really into the range game as far as Menoth is concerned. Shoot your opponent's army off the table. But their denial abilities on the melee game is still incredibly strong. This is one of the premier example of a very strong melee heavy Menoth list with all that denial.
Well, it looks like it's back over to Clint. Let's see what he can do to recover from that turn. He's got Jeff's armies in his face. He still has a pretty good amount of champions and boomhowlers left. Well, not too many boomhowlers at least, but
Okay.
let's see what happens. Maybe the Creoss stone bearers will have to get in the fight.
One of the interesting interactions we're seeing here is with Hero's Tragedy, which has caused 2 of Jeff's models to be knocked down. Now the Storm Troll has a very easy target to start the lightning accumulator.
That's true.
Just gotta be very careful which one you hit and to make sure it bounces where you want it to. Thing is, it's such a dominating presence that Jeff has right now. Jeff could win the game next turn.
I'm gonna check line of sight with the Storm Troll. My guy's knocked down.
Absolutely. It looks like he picked up 1 control point, and it is possible to pick up 4 control points in this scenario.
Especially when you have a heavy jack sitting around an objective.
Stand still. He's gonna shoot this right here. Sorry.
Yeah, and he also, the movement of Kreos puts him very easily within walking distance of the bottom objective.
At the very least, you can just charge one of your own models and get there if you had to. Or run. Kreos doesn't necessarily need to do too much during his turn except upkeep some spells and maybe feed the jack some focus.
Yes. Yeah. So power on him.
Power 12 on him.
That's -5. Don't be cheap.
I believe that's the Storm Troll doing what Storm Trolls do best.
Power 10.
Looks like he decided to pick up that easy shot there on the knockdown model.
Power 10 -6. Tough of course. Nope.
Looks like it bounced to one of his own models, which is sadness. Another interesting interaction, I don't know if it will come up here, is that Sacrosanct does not trigger off of War Beast. So if push comes to shove, he could send his War Beast in to punch. But I think they're probably better off shooting anyway.
It could be possible he can clear a lane, though, up to that
Champion.
top objective.
Just gonna take a free strike. Maybe here.
So mat 8.
Looks like he's trying to move by and taking a free strike.
Taking a free strike with champions on daughters is not necessarily a bad thing
Technically still.
if you have to get around them.
So 18, so -9. It is boosted too.
That is.
One of the few things in that army that is not a weapon master.
Seemed to catch Clint by surprise.
So he's gonna move 2.
I would argue that for a second just because of where he was.
I'm not charging.
Oh, you're just moving.
Just
So
advancing.
then just that's fine. Never mind. Sorry.
Okay, here.
My fault.
That's right.
I don't know if that champion's going to be close enough to actually contest that flag this turn.
7, with a 5,
Where is Scaldy? What unit is he in?
11.
I believe he's in the one near the hill.
He's the bottom orange guy, looking a lot like Borka.
I am blind.
Miss. Second attack.
Well, they are small models on screen.
Looks like he failed to kill the daughter.
Yeah, we saw the double ones there.
Yeah, and one of the looks like he was trying to clear the lane for the Trollkin champion hero
Activate the
to get in there, potentially get after a seneschal, maybe a bastion, contest the point, but the daughter's in the way.
thing at her.
Now he's trying desperately to clear it with the pirate troll.
Good.
You can tell he really wants to clear that lane.
Bunch.
If he can get to that solo and kill it,
14.
that's a really good potential of.
That was a
Potentially.
hard shot.
Goes.
In the all-important distance.
Direction. Distance. 5.
5.
It's
But
only
you're
gonna
only
go
8
back.
away, so it's going
Probably hit the daughter hanging out by the building, but not the daughter you wanted. The lane's still blocked.
Pow 6 on her.
Dice mark 6.
Yeah, killing that solo is so critical. It could prevent Jeff from scoring 4 in one turn.
She did.
You also have to remember that if he's not contesting the flag, I don't know what the distance is. The champion might be contesting now, but
He's gonna walk
he
out
could
right
score
now.
on this turn as well
Swing at
Yeah.
her.
and be up 2 points and just need to pick up 3.
14.
Just missed that daughter again with the champion hero.
How much I hate daughters.
No, but you can tell me about it sometime at the drinks.
Sounds good.
And that's the benefit of that particular flag right there, is he doesn't have an objective automatically contesting it for him.
Borka. Hill.
Looks like Borka is timidly advancing onto the hill.
Mosh pit for 3.
I don't know if he's getting into a position where he can throw his bomb, which is something that I randomly forget sometimes that he has.
It completely skipped my mind.
1 into the.
I'm sorry, Mosh Pit is what again?
In my control area.
Looks like Borka cast Mosh Pit.
Our friendly models get knocked down on their weapons. I don't know, not much. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna dump 1, so I have 1 on me.
What are the effects of Mosh Pit,
Um,
Pirate Captain? You have that?
Oh, I know it well. I love
I know that's one of your favorites.
when you get to kill, assassinate with slug guns, with pig burrowers. Mosh Pit is friendly models gain knockdown on their melee weapons. So everything within 10 inches of him. Not sure what he's trying to free up or maybe get a line of sight, but or just wreak havoc if he's worried he's not going to do enough damage.
is going to advance.
Looking at the bomb you were talking about, I'm surprised. It's actually range 8.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
12. Yeah, most thrown weapons are range 6.
I didn't even know he had it. Well, Borka is pretty strong. I'm pretty
Sure.
sure he can lug a bomb
shot,
pretty good.
Shot put one of those.
Maybe he's like grabbing one of his like hanging nuts off
That's
his
absolutely.
codpiece, you know? Chucking one of those.
Especially with all that stuff bunched up, just walking up and be like, this might kill something, boost damage on a couple of those guys.
Well, we'll
So
have-
just one more thing to mock Clint about.
absolutely. Any more ammunition we can get.
It's going to seem like the overwhelming theme of all these commentaries is going to be like, well, this guy could have done this at this time.
Look how stupid our friends are.
Or it's like, we didn't know this interaction was until we just looked at it.
I think actually I'm just going to go next game and kind of have like one of you guys mic'd in my ear, just sort of researching
Okay.
things and telling me interactions. Be like, all right, I think this is the play.
The fire salvation.
You have to get an army painted first to be on the pretty camera, though.
What's your defense?
Well, I have people for that.
Do you?
First one.
You're just gonna wait till Mayhew wants to see Cray so desperately that he paints it.
That
for
or
you?
I really think we do need more team tournaments.
Oh, yeah?
Big
Yeah.
events.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dice minus,
Like, I want Pirate Captain on my team. I'm going to have to paint his army in order to get that.
I get armies painted half armies at a time from team tournaments. That seems to be my plan.
There you go.
You're also playing the long game, too. And you have to appreciate the long game.
Oh,
You've been playing Signar for how long?
looks like he's putting damage. Where's the damage going?
I know I let you borrow my old black and white Prime copy. It's been a while.
I think he's shooting the Slag Troll at the Fire of Salvation.
Oh, with the boosted, automatically boosted damage
So,
roll,
yeah,
so he's
so-
getting
PAL 12, 4 dice damage.
4 dice behind it. Yeah. And the fire's armor 19? Armor 20?
Oh, we got to keep jumping back and forth.
I know.
This is why I yelled at somebody to have their tablet. Once again,
Well,
blame
it's-
Mayhew.
It's in a good place right now. On screen.
We'll combine melee here.
Yes, Fires of Salvation is an armor 19.
Dice minus 7 with 4 dice behind it. It's pretty tasty, especially when you're doing it twice.
He will attack
Yeah, the Slag Troll is
5 and
so underestimated right now, but with Horgle out soon, that's going to be
I know we ran a few proxy games. It's very interesting to. He can fully boost the attack, and with Hotshot gets the damage boosted on both shots. So
It's noted that Horrible does not fit in this team force, I don't think.
he does not.
for now.
No?
Equipment
Oh,
for
that
launch.
sucks.
no, it's being a Signar player. It's actually one of the funny interactions. Is all old tier lists say Journeyman Warcaster, and so Allison Jakes is actually grandfathered in to old tier lists, and
nice.
no one else is anywhere.
It's kind of like that thing with Colossals. We're like, well, Colossals are a Warjack. They're fit in most tier lists.
They're non-character warjacks.
Yep.
Oh, and an imprint will actually go off because you killed a man with
Looks like it's Chef's turns now. He's activating the Fire Salvation's automatic move.
Just dancing around to the back.
He did not pick up any. Clint did not pick up any scenario points. Doesn't look like Jeff did either. Let's see if he sees the obvious scenario play. Try and pick up. Well, he has to clear a lot of champions from around that first flag there, but
Yeah, I'm assuming that one champion up on the upper flag it was contesting to prevent him from scoring that turn. But he does have 2-3 bastions to charge at this turn. And there's a super relevant mechanic running.
maybe he'll heal the Fire Salvation if this game goes another turn.
Let's go ahead.
That seems unlikely at this point.
We're gonna have this man just walk up here.
It looks like he's getting in on that objective action.
We're gonna have him spend one focus for his imprint ability, which gives him.
Well, he's dropping the imprint, so it looks like he's looking to kill some
2 dice to swing at you.
some models before that.
Oh, you took an
You took out an arm out, but I can use that to get normal. So Matt 7.
Oh, apparently the arm was knocked out. That's why he went with the imprint.
Gotcha. So he's going after the champions.
Well, the nice thing is the imprint costs a focus to get boosted melee attack rolls, but if you... I'm not sure if you have to kill or hit, you actually generate an extra attack, so you kind of recoup that loss.
Dice minus 4.
Yeah, that's a really smart use of that imprint.
You know what?
Because it has to destroy a enemy model with an attack.
We
It
buy
will
a
get immediately get to make an additional melee attack.
Fire Salvation is a really solid jack. Its downside is its speed, but it fits so well in this list.
With that Vengeance move, you have so many models in their face. If the fire is just up there, he's going to be getting that Vengeance move almost every time.
dice minus
You can get in positions your opponent's not going to expect.
Because I killed something with an attack, I now get a free swing.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and throw it on this champion right here.
Looks like Jeff is not looking for the scenario play.
Yeah, it looks like he used that to drop the slag troll.
11. Misses.
It still seems like he has plenty to actually go after that objective.
We're going to do that with Aaron.
Well, we know Jeff gets pretty hyper aggressive and likes to
Run charge over
destroy and smash models, so
Well, I guess that's what that slag troll gets for shooting that Fire of Salvation. Didn't like that one bit.
He will charge you.
Want to take it off the table. Oh, now we're going for the objective. I just have to worry about
Stay right here.
the power 9 damage, being able to crack that armor 18.
Here, Matt 7. Hits. Weapon Master, palm 9.
He could still potentially follow it up with a Bastion charge or two.
This guy's swing. Hits.
I think you auto hit objectives. I don't think you need to roll.
On the objective, it's only defense 5, I believe. So
It auto hits.
yeah, that's just what they figured out.
palm 9 Weapon Master, and it is a armor 18. So dice minus 9.
Okay, okay.
4 damage. The second guy. Dice minus 9.
Looks like he's having a little trouble. Has 8 left.
7.
And the third guy. 4 more damage.
That might be an issue. He has Bastions with reach, so I'm sure they can get on there and
Yep, needs to
pull
tag
those
it.
last couple of damage off of it.
I'm concerned that maybe there's a champion that could be contesting right now.
And we're going to do run charge order. This guy's actually going to charge, since I can go through the flag, he's charging the objective. I can see
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for him to get the charge. This guy's charging the objective, he says. Oh, no.
face it.
He can move over the flag, so he has,
Oh,
he
that's
has
right.
reach too, and the objective's a larger base, so he can see it over the champions.
This guy.
So it's actually a pretty easy pickup for him.
Halberd out of the way. He will charge this guy.
It is slightly concerning that one Bastion that charged that one champion, whether or not that Bastion is going to pick up that
If
champion.
it does come down, a tough roll might actually end up contesting.
And 7
5.
hits on a 5. Pile 12 Weapon Master, armor 20, dice minus 18. 7 damage. to hit.
Not quite enough.
Next
This is the
charge
critical
attack,
one.
this here.
Misses.
Ooh, miss.
Charge attack on the objective. Oh, auto hits, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Pile 12 Weapon Master, so dice minus 6.
That objective right
I'll
there.
Pick it up.
That'll be enough to kill it.
Yep.
So if you don't mind getting rid of that for me, it'd be
Asshole look. Or there nothing would give me greater.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Some good
Knights will go
sportsmanship there.
next. Run charge order.
Seems to me they've been flirting this whole game. Something
Yeah.
about them going out for drinks later.
That's true. I did hear that.
Is he running through this guy's melee?
I'm sorry?
Is that guy running through this guy's melee?
They're
Yes, you would be. No, you don't have reach, right?
No.
Okay.
But what was
they're right now debating whether or not that
Straight
errant knight took a free strike.
Maybe I will. Well, yes, I will.
Well, it's like this.
It looks like the knight would take a free strike.
So, since I've already made that move.
Yes, you will, Clint. Yes,
Clint?
you will.
Struggling for whatever works.
That's a dead errant there. On a misplayed charge there by Jeff. Maybe he's getting a little overconfident.
No one's actually getting a charge bonus, but since there's only 3 left, it's +3. I'll force
And he might be a little rattled by not killing the champions with that crucial miss.
That's -4.
That could come back to haunt him.
He has just hit.
The next one here will miss.
Ooh, a string
Wow.
of misses.
Misses.
They are fledged too.
The string of bad dice there.
I dropped that.
This guy's got a force fit action.
I heard that, Carter. Oh no.
He's gonna just move
Like to join our commentary here, sir? Another person enters the ring.
hits. How 13? How 14 weapon master?
I guess the exemplars have been powered up a little bit by their casualties. What's their what their starting strength is? Is it 11?
Bastions are
On their
getting
stick?
charge order.
I most want to say 12.
I believe it's actually one higher. No, they are 11s.
Okay. So it's apparently they've taken 3 casualties and bumped their power up to 14, which is certainly troll-killing territory when you're a weapon master.
The second bastions are charging.
Get a charge.
Looks
And-
like Jeff may have defaulted to let the world burn, but he's going after that one champion that could be contesting that flag.
And here's another good example of watching your army unfold. The last turn we had Jeff charging in with all his forward advanced deploying, advanced moving units. The Bastions ran up behind, and now the Bastions are actually getting to affect the game in the third turn, waiting in there with their reach attacks, attacking over their the forward models that were jammed. So his whole army gets to participate
12 armor.
in this turn and apply more forward damage.
That's -6.
And the back line was completely unscathed by the attacks,
Absolutely.
just from the effects of the jam.
You can't deal with them while you've got all those errants and exemplars and daughters in your face.
And it looks like that contesting champion made his tough roll as well.
Creos. He has not moved.
Looks like Kreos is running to the flag. We don't know if he's able to score with the contesting there.
Yeah, that does seem...
That will be not the end of my turn.
Maybe the daughters are going to try and get there and finish that last point of damage off.
Out of command, so she needs to run to it. So 3 strikes.
I thought they don't do free strikes.
You do 3 strikes.
He apologizes for getting the benefits of his own models.
Charge
Such a gracious
that guy.
player.
This is like a perfect example of the epic Creos envelope of just having to fight through all of that stuff.
Yep. And the daughters play a crucial role. They're just these little ninja assassins bouncing around the table.
Hits. Just get a card.
They're not inhibited by the jam that you create with your errants and exemplars, so they can charge past the front line and get to the stuff in the back that you really don't want getting attacked.
Looks like he's thinning out the Creelstone unit.
Smart move there.
I got that too.
And that'll be the end of my turn.
Looks like Jeff doesn't score any points.
Well, he did get the one for
Oh,
destroying the objective.
he did get the
So
objectives.
he's standing at 2.
Sitting on 2.
You got one for the objective.
Dominating.
I'm
Wait,
with 4.
you're within 4.
They're just testing, yeah, that he was contesting.
So it's 2-0 still.
Whenever you want to start.
Back to Clint. Let's see what he can do to recover this turn. I think at this point he would have to try to find some very clever way of killing Kreos, and I don't know if he can make that happen.
I mean, it was a misplay, though, by Jeff, thinking that he would be able to dominate that zone.
Absolutely, you put Kreos in a slightly worse position. I mean, he's standing behind a full wall of bastions, which I don't think Clint has a way to clear. Oh,
There. 1, 5. 5.
Pretty sure you just kind of write in leap on Borka's card, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's a
Just
pretty effective method.
draw it in with crayon. You know.
Because a champion hero or Thresher could conceivably make a hole.
There. Kenny's gonna move up to base. He's gonna fall down to right there.
It's an awesome whisper with the ghost in the room, and just
Somebody's insinuating that if a champion hero would charge a Bastion unit, that he would be able to clear the hole.
fool.
That's foolish.
We actually do have to get Matt. That's our other friend, Haley's Comet of Warma Hordes. Does play a game once every 42 years.
He's currently painting an Iacos for me. Much appreciated.
So you have to be somewhat nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's his Iacos. I'm just using it.
Stand up. He will just sacrifice.
It's going to be very interesting what happens with those champions on the upper portion of the
Screen?
map screen. If he can clear out those bastions, it actually would make scoring that flag very difficult for Jeff in the later
Absolutely.
turns.
On Bastions, a mighty 11.
Jeff's going to need to pick up 3 points this next turn in the game, which is going to be a domination and a control of both flags. And Clint has a good opportunity here to try and at least contest the flag up in the north
Spreading it.
enough that he can't be fought off at next turn. Because most of Jeff's stuff is facing towards the middle of Clint's army. It's not going to be able to turn around and charge it.
This is a decently small example of Troll's natural ability to occasionally toughen, not lose the game. Having that champion survive and that Bastion miss on that critical turn was,
Crucial.
yeah, crucial for Clint to be able to.
You never want to rely on tough as a strategy, but it just occasionally is going to be that little bone that gets thrown your way.
It looks like he's actually going to be able to do with that champion hero what he wanted to do earlier. I believe that is the Seneschal that could potentially resurrect itself.
Yeah, that's actually a big pain, so you have to be careful. It might have been better to delay that activation until the end.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to Thresher.
Swinging on him.
Defense 12.
The champion heroes have Reach and Thresher,
Hits.
which is just brutal.
13. Sure.
And PAL 12 Weapon Masters.
Yeah,
And don't they have the ability to move through champion models, if I'm not mistaken?
that is correct.
So they can charge over units of champions, get into the jam. I'm pretty sure their mat's relatively decent at a 7 or an 8.
I believe they're an 8.
An 8? Mat 8?
What's his command again?
9 inches.
No, they are. Oh, actually, wait. Mat 8, yeah.
And what's the power of their weapon?
PAL 12.
Pal 12 with a stone, potentially 13.
Pal 12 Webmaster too.
Oh, they're weapon masters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even better. Oh, glorious. That is a brutal solo. For 3 points?
Yeah, 3. Actually, shocking, which I didn't realize, only something I've noticed from failing too many command checks. They are a Command 10 commander as well.
Oh, nice.
They're a solid solo, and especially in this list, it allows the champions to move through each other, which is a big deal.
It looks like he knocked down that Seneschal, but the Seneschal stays in play, and if a friendly model dies within 5 inches of it, I believe, it stands back up.
They just mentioned that it was 9 inches.
9 inches?
I believe it's the command.
Command
Oh, the command. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't play Minoth. I don't know. I just want to kill him.
He's going to activate. He's going to move here.
Yeah, that was one of those things. After he cleared the lane, he needed to hold off and activate the hero last.
The interesting thing about that ability is that it's not a heal, so it's kind of hard to flat deny it. You have to really plan your turn around it.
At 5 on 11. He's 6.
Actually, it is a heal.
Oh,
Is he?
It states it heals
missed a
1
6 on 3 dice. That's disappointing. The low stats of the Troll Beast can sometimes come in the huge effect, even with boosts.
The nice thing about these 3 lights in a Borka list is that Borka really doesn't care about how much he's camping more often than not, so he can get a lot of forces out of his beasts.
His animus to Borka.
No, it's one of the other reasons I like championing the Slag Troll is it is actually 1 mat, 1 rat, 1 strength, and 1 armor higher than all the other light war beasts.
Really?
The Slag Troll?
Well, compared to the other elemental war beasts.
It's more points though. Is it an extra point or?
Yes, 1 more.
Going to activate.
But it has that double double screw your jack gun, which is just so tasty. And or Crix, screw your Crix army gun.
Yeah, on the off chance you're shooting one of the actually get a shot off at one of the undead warcasters, it hurts.
Stone is going to burn for.
Yeah, we're pretty good at not getting shot, for the most part.
1 strength.
Especially it's a range 8 gun. I know they have access to snipe, but
That way.
No, and we've talked about this before. It's like when it comes to horde beasts and such, things have to rely on their own merit at a certain point. You can't always factor in snipe. Sometimes the slag troll just needs to be good at range 8, and I believe it can be good at range 8.
Wow, that's a
there's the extreme averages.
yeah, double ones, double sixes, and
Back to
ones.
double ones.
Let's see if we can follow that up with some double sixes again.
And I don't know if Clint has triggered the resurrection ability on the Seneschal.
Doesn't look like they even checked. Something that's going to be asked later in the turn.
Looks like the Fire Salvation might need to go. It has an arm that could potentially get healed, get back to full or to functional health, and potentially threaten Borka. That stumbling drunk rule is always a pain to plan around. If you have daughters, you can run them behind Borka and keep him from going away from you. But if you don't have any way to block off that stumbling route, you never know. You just never know how many hits you're going to get on him before he stumbles his drunk ass away from you.
I think it's the worst case scenario for Kreos if he's the only thing left with Borka on the table.
Oh, absolutely. Can't be knocked down as long as the keg. I mean, you could always go for the keg bearer too. Try and take that out. It's certainly in a position where fire could get to it.
It's interesting, we talked a lot about the Storm Troll Animus, and I don't think we've seen it drop at all.
I don't think
here.
we've seen any Animus on the table yet. I think Clint has just been trying to get a breath of air and hasn't had a chance to really use any of those abilities. That Creos list is just suffocating.
But if there's factions that can handle being suffocated a little bit, it's trolls. They don't mind playing the long game as long as they're not losing because of it.
Yeah, but his position's been makes that pretty difficult right now.
And as we mentioned earlier in the game, like getting that first turn was really critical for Clint in this particular situation.
And then again, if he'd gotten second, he might have been able to push for a stronger scenario play. Granted, the line of engagement would have been well past the objectives at that point, so that's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Nope. Looks like everybody's bouncing between good and bad dice rolls right now.
Well, it looks like, yeah, that was a free strike from the fires.
Borka's going to charge over here.
Borka's going after the fire, which is...
That's odd. I had the feeling that Borka had that charge even without that guy having to move. Borka does have reach.
Yep, and he could have swung to the far right of the model.
Yeah.
I didn't make the champion's attack.
Oh, that was a huge mistake
Yeah.
on Clint. I think he kind of got a tunnel vision there on Borka getting to the fire and just did what he thought he needed to do to get Borka there without planning accordingly ahead of time the moves of the rest of the champions. It happens. Especially when you're in a bad situation. I think sometimes you tend to focus on the immediate threat and you get that tunnel vision.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to line up the dominoes in a row and you're just kind of
Absolutely.
rushing to the play.
Looks like he electroleaped himself.
Oh, there it was.
Oh, that's a very smart play right there.
Yeah.
Start electrolooping onto those errands.
Hopefully wreck a jack and kill a bunch of errands in the process.
Oh, so now we know why he had to move the champion out of the way.
You said it's only armor 19.
Yeah, minus 3. I guess I'll boost it.
That'll be the last. 7 damage to 5. Yep. 1 box of movement. And one,
Oh,
one box
looks
of
like
movement.
2 health left on the fire.
He's gonna have a really difficult time.
Yeah, both of his arms are out, and Borka is Borka.
See if he decides to finish him off.
3 focus, burn 1, and he's 3 attacks.
I don't know how many Fury Bork is sitting on right now.
We're actually gonna kill.
Seems like he forgot his Electro Leap,
and then do that. So
or he's not
I
sure.
think he just boosted damage on that one attack.
well, you did kill a guy around him, so
Looks like the turn is passed.
we're just gonna put him.
I guess he decided not to spend the extra Fury to finish him off.
Swing at that man.
Okay.
Hits. Oh, 18.
There's fire hitting on 1 die.
Sometimes you roll that 1/6.
I don't know if Fire might have been blocking some charge lanes off there now. I'm guessing he gets to move again during his activation, but
Yeah, that's another one where he could have went far to the bottom there, came up behind him.
he still has the opportunity to do so.
Half the time I've had the continuous fire thing up, but I have spring fire. So you weren't really
Usually in the past.
Broken arm and all, looks like he's going to try to do some smashing.
Should have started that a little bit earlier. He unfortunately.
It looks like they didn't trigger that ability, and he did die.
Stop killing stuff around.
Yeah.
I still have people there.
Oh, the Seneschal got removed from the table. Let's see.
First, we'll use this unit.
So it's going to be difficult to score more than 2 points this turn.
He has some Bastions up top that can get some attacks. Probably not charge bonuses, though.
It looks like one of them might be engaged. It's going to be hard to like pull him off to get within 4 inches of that flag, for that upper flag.
That's true. You're not going to have the solo to go up there and score the point.
Yeah.
He will charge directly face. Since I am in your front arc, I will charge. Well, I'm not.
So unless Borka is going down, it looks like we'll see at least one more turn from Jeff.
3-inch distance.
Seems like at this point, all Clint has is the hope of killing Kreos.
So we'll start with this charge attack.
I would agree.
Hit 7. Hits. About 12.
He is at 18 right now.
About 18. So that's minus 6. 3 damage.
It looks like the mechanic's going to be out of range of the fire.
Okay.
Maybe because Borka has reach. Maybe if the fire salvation had backed up to the edge of Borka's reach range, he would have been able to repair it, load it up with refocus, and then beat on Borka with the full right arm intact.
It's true, that Righteous Vengeance move kind of ends up hurting him.
So that could have been an interesting play there.
He might be looking at the imprint again to bring him back to normal. Problem is, it's not helping him on his damage.
Absolutely not. And Borka has still got a good defense, a decent defense, to hit on 2 dice with Mat 6 or 7, depending on what fire is.
Fire.
Can't keep track of these silly min-off jacks.
18. So dice minus 6.
Well, no choir in this list, so he's not Mat 8 or 10
Yeah.
or something something stupid.
Something incredible.
Yeah.
Looks like he's beating up the Pyre Troll.
Next one. Hits. It was minus 5. I'm sorry, 18 you said, right?
Yep.
Minus 6, so 3 more damage to the 5.
Oh, Storm Troll and Pyre Troll took a little damage there from the Bastions.
He's knocked down.
And the important one hitting the Fellcaller hero.
Just gonna move.
Jeff might be looking at getting some early damage on the beasts in order to make transfers to those beasts less successful.
Absolutely.
It's one of the things when you're playing against a warlock, the more damage you put on those beasts, the easier they are to kill.
She's gonna swing here. Auto hitting.
Yep.
Point it
16. Okay.
Oh, anatomical precision, just picking him up.
She's gonna swing here on the one. Has a couple left. Hits.
Okay. I got
Walk.
5 left.
Pound 9.
Or 3 left.
Armor
16.
16. Pound 9. So dice minus 7. 3 damage.
There's a doubter putting a
He's knocked down.
champion in the dirt.
Auto hitting will cause a point of damage.
Oh,
And
2
2 tough rolls.
Not quite dead, though.
Good on Clint.
So
Tickle,
it's
tickle.
alright. It's alright. These 2 knights will go next.
2 exemplars left in the unit, so you're looking at power 15 weapon masters.
Yeah, that's going to sting a bit.
Stay right there.
At our armor 21, if I'm correct? They start at 16s?
I don't know. Menoth's somebody I haven't looked at in a while. Let's see.
I'm at 7.
They start at 15.
15, so armor 20s.
12 hits. They're going to be a plus power.
Yeah, you want to finish those units off quick before they start getting all those
15.
damage and armor buffs up.
Armor 18.
I prefer Bile Thralls, purging on the entire unit at once,
Yeah.
but that's me.
Yeah, nobody likes
4
you.
and 7 misses.
Oh, I love the hate.
This unit of 3. Not going to go yet. Bastions first.
So it looks like just on
Would you agree?
the roundup. Curious to see what's going to happen at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, clearing off that bastion will at least give Kreos the opportunity to score 2 points, which would put him at 4.
The
Which is-
champion, you mean?
Yeah, the champion. Sorry.
Probably using the Bastion to clear the champion.
Yes, likely.
Champion already took a lot of damage too, so it shouldn't be too hard, especially with the errant standing in front of it. Potentially the Bastions could poke through the back line for the front line of errants and clear the couple of champions there. I don't know if he'd be able to get Scaldy with just a couple of non-charge attacks, but the errants could then advance forward, get into Scaldy if he's living. The farther back champions
Charging here.
and start doing some more damage. Once again, here's just a good example of how this army unfolds in the table. You have those reach bastions in the back, clearing the way for the forward jam line of errants and exemplars.
7 hits.
It especially is effective against medium-based army like trolls, where you get line of sight over your own guys towards everything.
Charge here. Hits. 12.
Which guy, sorry?
Charge here.
Okay.
And it's very rare that he will block his own line of sight to begin with anyway.
More tough rolls being made.
Champion. And I did this one first. Hits with an 8.
Might be a little too late for the tough rolls.
Distance.
I think
Oh, now we're hitting crucial targets here.
He's a 20.
He's a 20, so dice minus 8. 5 damage.
5 the Scaldy? Oh,
It was tough.
So this guy's
oh, it was the lower champion. It looks like.
not enough. This guy's charge on this one. Hits with a 6. Is he a 20 as well?
Yes.
Are you checking the...
It looks like the errants are attacking the forward line. The Bastions couldn't quite get the job done.
6. I'm sorry, minus 8.
Okay.
So 1 point.
This is the crucial champion.
Just hanging on for dear life.
And, yeah, it was not enough.
Tokens everywhere.
Errands are next.
So,
Oh, the errants hadn't gone it. Excuse me, that was the Bastion activation. Still,
One charge
the
order.
Bastions failed to kill a champion. I'll get another crack at it with the errants.
A lot of he'll have a couple of charges, but some of those non-charges on power 9s is not helpful.
no, they checked the aura.
Absolutely.
He's in both of them.
Yeah.
At dice minus 11, if he's in the aura for 20, that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Trying to hit
3 damage.
12s on 3 dice. Granted, it's Jeff, so it happens. Like right there.
Do they have reach? They don't, right?
This guy did.
He is good at quick.
Not that 12 is that hard, it's just above average. Never want to rely on above average rolls.
Left
Yeah.
on him was
And he's
minus
just
2,
shooting. Oh,
minus 5,
Plink.
nothing.
rubber arrow there.
So
Bouncing off.
here he's at 8. Hits on 9 dice minus 11, right?
He is.
Oh, not in base space.
So he's
Oh, that's
Deny
gonna
the
be
defensive line.
a tough roll right there.
9, 2 damage to him.
Oh, no. Still pushing the damage up. Nickel and diamond that thing.
His charge attack
That super critical champion.
did get the distance, so dice minus. You said 16. You said armor. 18. So
16.
dice,
16.
okay, so dice minus 7.
18. Sorry, I'm big as stuff.
That's fine. Dice minus.
So that's definitely going to be a tough roll.
That's enough.
7 damage.
Oh, goes down.
And who was that?
Took quite a few activations in attack, though.
At the end.
And triggering hero's tragedy.
Killed this guy.
Hits on this guy. Dice minus 9.
1 point.
Still minus 9. 1.
The question is that champion in contestant range of the flag?
It's 4 inches, right?
He has 4 inches.
It looks very close.
Oh, he does have Fire's Salvation, though. Fully loaded.
That's true. Fire could just pick him up.
You have the imprint.
14. 7. Miss. His fist. Misses. Will buy a swing. Hits.
There you go.
About 18.
Armor's 19, 21 under the still.
Looks like he's attacking Borka.
You said 21?
Yep.
That's minus 3. 3 damage.
And Borka will get a stumble roll. Let's see what happens.
If he gets outside enough, that could be dangerous.
Oh, good.
If he's stumbling drunk, or I guess he's not taking it.
Which you.
Oh, now he checks. Not the best time.
Yeah. One of the changes in Steamroller is that you can always check that.
All right, clicks it back over. That's going to be 3 points to Jeff. No, 4.
I believe it's 4. Yeah, he scored the top objective and then
Keep on forgetting his objective score, yep.
destroying the. Unless that was contested, I don't even remember now.
I don't think it was.
I believe it was. I think he scored 1 on the top.
$2.
You just edit this, right? No, if it was contested from the first round, so you can just edit that in. So I know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you'll do that.
Yeah, I'm in no way not going to edit at all
Not a
due to
problem.
laziness.
I'm just going to give you both. And you pick
Either
one
way,
you
he's
like.
looking for one more domination of a flag to pull the V.
Yeah.
Yes, you did, Clint. Yes, you did.
That is, Clint forgot to stumbling drunk when he took that hit.
I love all these beautiful rules that we talk about that are our wonderful, beloved
It's like
warlocks.
stumbling
and
drunk's
warcasters have.
amazing.
It's so great. It's so funny and characterful, and we're playing a game and just forgetting all about them. We are hyper competitive here.
So, Clint, if you can hear me, you just need to kill everything between Borka and Kreos, and then just charge him and kill him.
Yeah.
Good game plan.
Seems legit.
On Borka.
Borka first.
Uh-oh. Borka's on fire.
And on the other guy. So about 12 on Borka.
Yep. I wonder if I knew
It does indeed, Clint. It does indeed.
That is, unyielding does work on the fire damage roll.
It works on everything. As long as you are engaged in melee, you get +2 armor.
Yep. 6.
I know that well as a Gatorman player.
Minus 4, so 4 damage.
Looks like that champion took 4 damage from the fire damage roll.
Not enough to die, though.
I don't know, does the Creoss Stone Bearer remove the continuous effects as well?
Yeah, when you pop that aura, they do go away.
Okay.
+2 armor, +1 strength.
Looks like he did +2 armor, +1 strength instead, which
To be fair, it's now or never.
Yep.
So.
You got one turn to make anything happen. I don't see it. Maybe Clint will find it.
and some of the, there's a little bit too many things in the way between Borka and Kreos. Even if Borka did stumbling drunk, I would be hard pressed to see that charge without clearing something out.
Yeah, he'd have to do like 3 inches kind of straight down, and then if he could kill the mechanic, I believe, he might have been able to do it. But he'd eat a lot of free strikes along the way.
I don't know if reach would be enough to get you there.
Champions will attack.
I think it's looking at 3 dead errants, 4 dead errants, and the mechanic,
Okay.
and the fire to get there.
First hit.
And you really just have a couple of champions to do it with. And it's
Minus 7.
11, right?
Yeah.
Oh, 11?
Well, 12 with the spell.
Okay, so that's minus 7.
That's minus 7. 4 damage to the 1.
here's a question: does stumbling drunk work for free strikes
I do have
You ignore free strikes.
It says anytime except during your activation.
during your activation? Okay, so you don't ignore free strikes.
No.
No.
I mean, you do
If
when you
ignore
stumble,
it when you stumble, yeah, that's
Oh,
what I was saying.
okay? You
but you
ignore
don't
the
get to
free strike
trigger it
rules.
from a free strike.
Okay,
It is a push in all forced movement.
okay, because that would hurt my head if that's how the rules interaction work. But
Oh, already gave it a game. Champion was supposed to move forward, not kill him.
Fortunately, it looks like Borka has a
So,
big amount of rough terrain in front of him all of a sudden.
and I'm guessing he doesn't. Does he have access to Pathfinder?
Not that I'm aware of.
This is
Uh,
maybe his feet.
I believe his feet does.
so Borka is going to.
That seems like one of those random things they throw into feats.
I don't
Like
think he
his.
has actually popped his feet at all.
Actually, it does not.
So get to move 2 inches out of that.
So no.
one of the things Clint talked about, not having a fell caller to do so much work. I don't believe the fell caller can do an individual, but I know it can give Pathfinder to a unit.
That'll hit.
Looks like Borka just risked the freeze strike to get into that position.
He's gonna eat it. See what kind of damage he takes. Oh, not too bad. 14.
12, 14.
So with Krillstone aura up and unyielding, which you always get on free strikes.
I will cast
Well, not always, depending on whether or not I have reach.
Lightning Troll Animus.
Looks like Borka is just gonna try and do some infantry clearing here.
Still in.
Checking to see if he's in range. But,
Nope. Lightning Troll target.
Oh,
so he does not
huge
have...
mistake there.
yeah.
Moved right outside of the range of his beasts.
Good try.
It was a try.
Felt real.
Felt real good.
So no Storm Troll Animus today.
So first with this guy,
Defense 12.
7 hits.
Looks like
How
Borka will be either coming to a glorious end here soon, or the objective play will be
will attack
coming to fruition next
this
turn.
guy.
I don't even know if Clint is contesting the objective.
Well, he hasn't activated that unit, which can move up, but I don't think they're long for this world.
Hits.
Will hit.
Auto hits.
Oh,
That's
and
my
then
damage
pound
roll.
15.
Yep.
Dead.
Borka might be within 4 inches of the objectives, but of course we know Warcasters and Warlocks cannot contest. Which I think was a very positive change they made in, what, 2012?
I think it was last year.
Was
that
it
they
last
made
year?
that change,
Okay,
yeah.
2013. One of the newer Steamroller
I know. I
editions.
think it was last year where they added the domination rule and the can't contest rule, which were both like really solid additions to the Steamroller package.
I would agree. So casters like Terminus, or you just can't. Oh, if I kill everything in your army that can kill me, then I'm just going to walk into a zone and clear it every turn.
It also adds a passive buff to all of the casters who are as active in the game as Terminus, where they can hop onto flags, dominate them.
Yep, a little give and take there.
I mean, you're gonna win because I can't.
I think he did activate that unit of champions when he took out fire.
It looks like it's close to 4. I bet you're not.
I can measure.
And you're
Oh.
going to contest whether or not he's contesting the flag.
All right, so they're not paying attention to the rules that we just went over.
Not at all.
Not that Borka's within 4.
Maybe it'll be delayed for a turn.
Let's see if he has any other model that could potentially run up and contest it. Of course, if you're in that situation where only one model versus a bunch of models is your contesting plan, is not a great one.
Including a Warcaster like Creos with an automatic smite attack.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick up this dude. Boost a hit.
It's like the Pyre Troll's trying to do some work. Not sure if it's going to matter.
I will aim at. I have to be able to see the dude. Sue.
I think it might have been a two-handed throw.
That is a very crafty thing that a lot of these small troll lights can do, because they all have double-handed fists, double open fists. They just walk up and even if you have only one model in your melee range, just double-handed throw it and clip 2 models where you would only be getting 1,
Throw him at.
or just clear a lane or knock something important down. I think it's an underused tactic that a lot of players don't expect.
We'll just roll it out. See if I hit.
I've seen plenty of time models walk up and two-handed throw. It's like they have a range attack.
Yeah, it's fantastic, especially like a little light that you just weren't expecting to do that kind of work.
Strike with my own guy, so
Yeah.
pretty much there.
I'm guessing. I mean, I guess it would throw this way.
Yes. Yeah, because it would be through.
So this guy would take a pound 9.
So very low damage on the throws. Looks like he
Boosted.
Would it be boosted on him as well?
looks like he ended up throwing his own guy too, and didn't survive it.
So he double-handed through and had the effect of killing his own model and not much else.
These guys will activate.
And we still get to talk about this game for like another 12 minutes of the inevitable demise of trolls.
Well, it looks like he's trying to advance something to contest.
Still in reach range with
And
him.
him.
I would say a free strike from this
So
model
1,
because
2, 3.
you're still in reach range with him. Are you
I'm
moving?
gonna go.
I think
as
this is
Okay. So Aaron's basically at 9.
Yeah.
all over but the crying. Those salty, salty troll tears.
All right.
Yes, it is.
Actually, I can move this guy. He was already knocked down, so able to get 6. So give me 1, 2.
All right.
This is the desperation.
Bastions.
Double ones.
Okay.
Okay. See if you kill him.
You wanted to go from the errant first?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Okay, count 9.
Okay.
He died.
And looks like they're done. Clint is
Game over. Jeff scores 5 EPs and scoops up
5-0.
Borka pretty handily.